currently 10:40 in the morning. I'm just sitting here editing the episode for night, and my dad came down to watch TV with me, and immediately started snoring. So, anyways, new episode tonight, 8 p.m. Check it out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the topic of the week. Now, today's topic are concession stands. In particular, concession stands at sporting events, which I don't know about y'all, but I feel like every time I go to a concession stand, it's just a horrible experience because there's always like so many people waiting in line. And another thing, it's like the people in front of you in line have never ordered food in their entire life. Like I was one time, I was at AT&T Stadium in Jerry World, and a lady in front of me was ordering. And she goes, "So what's in a chicken sandwich?" And I'm just like, "Dear, what? How do you not know what a chicken sandwich is? This isn't a revelation." And and I have such respect for those workers that day because they answered that question so respectful and so nice. And I was just like, I don't know how you could answer that dumb of a question respectfully. So there's that. And then, so you go through all the dumb people in line when you go to a concession stand. So you finally get to the front of the line. You look, you see the prices. Holy crap, how is that legal? Like, how are those prices insane? I'm going to give an example of this. So last week, I went to the Ranger game with a couple of my friends. And I went to get a hot dog and a soda. Very simple, shouldn't be much. Okay, here I'm going to show a photo of the prices from it that day. So a jumbo dog was $7.39 and a bottled soda was $7.29, which is absolutely insane. And you go a jumbo dog. Well, a jumbo dog might be something. A jumbo dog is a normal hot dog. To me, the jumbo dog, it's kind of like a Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. It's a higher price for a very average result. It's just not worth it. And so let's say that. So it says $7.39 with sales tax, blah, 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 blah. It comes around $8 for each, which is insane for a bottled soda. Like, that's just an insane markup. So you pay those you order those prices because you don't have a choice, and then they'll go, well, and then the concession stand workers go, well, we'll have you answer a short questionnaire, which means they just want you to tip. And they give, into your credit, they give you the option to not tip, but you always feel guilty for not tipping. Like, you always feel like, no, I always feel guilty not tipping. And I want to say this I don't blame the workers for wanting me to tip because they don't get paid that much, which is ridiculous considering how much I'm paying for a hot dog. So I want to say this. I went to the 7-Eleven this week. I got a hot dog for less than $2 and a soda for $1. Think about that compared to a normal price. It's insane. I don't mean to sound like a socialist, but why don't the owners of those the owners of the stadium who operate all those, why don't they take some of the 200% profit margins and just pay their workers a better wage so then I don't have to tip them? It's insane. I'm already getting ripped off, and you're ripping, and then I'm also feeling guilt on top of being ripped off. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, all that. So, in prep for this, I found this video about why concession stands at sporting events are such a ripoff. And I found this video from Business Insider. It's a great video, and they talk about how it's because the owners of the team or the teams itself have all the concession rights to them, meaning there's no competition. And let's say this: a lot of people don't know this. A lot of teams, I should say, who own the concession stand rights, a lot of those stadiums are very much heavily taxpayer funded. Very much so. And wouldn't it be good for the taxpayers and just for capitalism if you had multiple vendors who could create a better experience for the fans so we're not getting ripped off on top that we just paid for a billionaire stadium? Does that make kind of sense? So I want to say that. But so Business Insider, they had this great thing. I don't want to botch their data, but they talk about how it started off in 1800s, 1900s. They had multiple competitors, and it was fair, and it still was a little more expensive than going to a gas station, but it was a lot fairer pricing. Then then teams realized how lucrative it was, and then just started collapsing it, meaning they were the only ones who could profit off of the concession stands, taking out multiple vendors, blah 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 blah. You get it. All right, that's it for this week's topic of the week. Thank you very much. All right, everybody, it's now time for the clip of the week. So here it is.
Yo, nigga.
God damn, John, what the?
Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce you to a new segment called Discussion of the Week. Now, last week we had a friend of the show and one of my personal best friends, Daniel, join us to talk about the MLB salary cap and the CBA. So, we have created a conversation board on the iFeed that we would like for you to go and give your responses to should the MLB have a salary cap. We are going to continue this into other areas, but we're very excited to start this with y'all today. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce you to a new segment called Discussion of the Week. Now, last week we had a friend of the show and one of my personal best friends, Daniel, join us to talk about the MLB salary cap and the CBA. So, we have created a conversation board on the iFeed that we would like for you to go and give your responses to should the MLB have a salary cap. We are going to continue this into other areas, but we're very excited to start this with y'all today. Thank you.
I think that the MLB Players Association and owners and the commissioner will be able to avoid that just because of how catastrophic it would be if they didn't. And I think agreeing on the salary floor, it seems to me that that's a pretty significant common ground for both the owners and the players, is that they're willing to both negotiate a salary floor, but the salary cap that's the biggest, the salary ceiling, the cap is the biggest area of contention. But I think that because they both know the players want to play and the owners, they want the players to play because, they bring in more revenue that way. I think that because of how bad it would be if they didn't agree, that they definitely will reach an agreement.
Yeah.
And there may be a period of lockdown, but I think they'll reach an agreement.
Hello, everybody. We're going to close this episode out with a little quote of the week. Now, our quote is from Mark Twain. The quote is, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." Now, I really like this quote. We hope y'all enjoy it. I just want to say again, thank you for watching. Everybody who supported, liked, commented, shared feedback with us, joined the iFeed. Very appreciative of all of you. So hope y'all have a great week. Bye.